Hi, I'm Shivam,
Hi, I'm Izzy,
and this is PhoenixChat.
where one of us can read.
Which one?
You find out.
Hi, and welcome back to PhoenixChat. Kind of a bit of a irregular recording schedule here. We're kind of just in the middle of like school, classes, work, everything. It's just kind of been a bit of a nightmare. We're trying to sort things out and get these out a lot more regularly though. But without any further ado, getting back right into where we left off. The last time we left you guys, Hops had received a blessing from the All-Mother as she finally managed to escape the room with the creepy nightmare shadows.
Hops became God.
And as she started crawling through the vents, she noticed that the party was strapped down to a laboratory table. And in addition to all of that, she also saw that there was a large tank that had a Juliet clone inside of it, except the clone appeared to be male. And the party very quickly, of course, dubbed him Romeo.
Yeah, good times.
And as Hops listens on from her hiding spot in the vent up there, the disembodied voice that's been bugging Juliet and the rest of the party begins to speak a little bit further out of sight down the road. And the voice kind of explains that when Juliet pricked her finger, when she was getting the soul cage, she ended up losing a little bit of blood, which is how the creature ended up getting a DNA sample from Juliet in order to clone her.
Wow. So fucking just... That's so nice. It's just so convenient.
Yep. The lesson is don't do anything ever.
Yep.
But the voice starts to continue explaining as the party just kind of asks, what are you doing? We're kind of on the same side here. Why are you trying to, trap us like this and do God knows what to us? As the voice begins to explain that, well, true to his word, he does want to defeat Legion just like the party does. However, he has a certain solution in mind. He is going to brainwash the party and purge away any sort of weakness from their minds and perfect them into these perfect killing machines. And as soon as they're mindless zombies, they're going to head out and they're going to kill Legion. And then as soon as she begins to kind of pop out of her body, like the first time the party defeated her, the party is then going to continue killing Legion over and over and over again until she's weak enough to be soul caged. And he also kind of explains too, as the party's kind of wondering, wait, what the hell do you mean, purge us of weaknesses? As he explains to Juliet that she used to be afraid of water before she entered this dungeon, but the creature managed to infiltrate her mind and replace all of Juliet's memories of being afraid of water. And this was obviously wild to Juliet because yeah, as far as Juliet knew, this would be someone telling her that she wasn't a Kitsune her whole life. She's had all these memories and stuff like that to believe that, and all of a sudden she's being told that all of it's fake. Which, yeah, that's wild. And so the party realizes though that well, we share the same goals, but the methods are clearly not aligned here, as we should definitely find any sort of way to escape. And as the creature then reveals that Juliet's now no longer afraid of water and can swim perfectly, Pop starts screaming out that that's not fair, because the voice explained that the way that he cured Juliet's weakness was by giving her good memories of her swimming with her father, and Hops just starts shrieking down that those could have been good memories with her.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to explain this next bit.
So all we hear is, "That's not fair!" And we all just look up at where we assume Hops is in the vent. We're all like, God fucking damn it. All we see is this vent open up and trash just falling out of the vent. We're like, what? But when Hops sticks her head out of the vent, she sees, because we're all strapped to a table, we don't see anything. She sees this giant brain in this, like, fucking giant kiddie pool of goo with tentacles sticking out of it. And we're all like, what the fuck? So we all were allowed to ask the brain thing one question, because we were like, okay, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, I'll let you guys know whatever you want, but you all have to agree on one, and then I'm gonna kill you. And we're like, okay, well, fuck you. Anyway, we all decided on who is Legion working for, and he replied with the Leviathan. And Juliet...
I do want to specifically know, you guys, like, you first, like, dicked about, like, with a couple of different questions, and, like, as soon as, like, they said it, like, I was trying to do some build-up, like, well, Legion's, like, true master, of course, he's, like, the ancient, like, creature and stuff, like, that you guys a little more context, and, like, I think it was Boondock just yelled out, like, that's not an answer to the question, and I was so tempted to just be like, okay, you guys get no questions now, roll initiative. I just streamed out the Leviathan, who cares, roll initiative.
It's the Leviathan! Anyway! Aside from our...
revelation, I think actually let's save the revelation for after the fight.
Okay. Anyway, so Juliet has a revelation about the Leviathan, but whatever. We're gonna skip that for a second. We go into initiative, and we're trying to figure out how to get out of the restraints and explain to Hops how to free us. So,
I believe how you did it was you were trying to, like, coach Hops into, like, actually, like, freeing you from, like, the restraints and, like, trying to, like, tell her, like, exactly, like, what to do. And I think at one point even Hops, like, started scolding you guys because you guys kept, like, confusing her by, like, giving, like, I think you need to free someone else first. Like, no, but you should probably free, like, this person instead because they can do, like, more damage and stuff like that. And eventually Hops just was, like, mom-moding and just, like, nope, like, everyone, like, stop talking. Like, I'm sorry. And Hops was like, you should be. But,
she learns from the best.
Yes. But Hops begins to start freeing people, and like she can only free one person every turn. But unfortunately, the brain gets a couple of free pot shots as you guys can just suddenly feel like psychic energy beginning to just like blast your minds.
Oops.
Yeah. And the first round of combat ends, and you guys are like looking at the tank, and I think you guys are trying to like battle some ideas of like, well, if it's like Juliet, then maybe like we can convince it that like to help us instead. And I think you specifically said like, oh, if it's Juliet, then they're good fucking luck, buddy.
Yeah. Cause okay, if a bunch of fucking strangers were strapped down to a table, somehow escaped, and asked me for help, I'd be like, absolutely fucking not. I don't know who the fuck you are. I don't know if you're on my side or their side. Nah, I'm outie. And that's exactly what Romeo did. He fucking poofed away like a little shit.
After flipping you off.
Yeah. You know, to be fair, I deserved it.
Oh man. The fight with the brain like continues onwards with the brain just like assailing you guys with like psychic energy over and over again, like seeing you like mind blast to like stun you guys in place. Thankfully though, it does a shit ton of damage, but you guys are like able to start like bursting it down back with that very low defensive like capabilities. And at one point Hops like jumps like into like the tank to try and like start like wailing at it, and she gets knocked out for the first time. Everyone kind of like panics for like a little bit, but Boondock is able to like bring her back up. And I think like the brain kind of like taunts like Hops a little bit at this point, just like trying to figure out like what the hell can she do and stuff like that in the situation really. And Hops, I believe, gets angry, begins to start reeing, and then just like flails around, just hitting the brain over and over and over and over again until she manages to actually defeat it.
It's fine. It's fine.
And early on in the fight, the brain told Hops that she had two choices. One was to walk away and her friends would be returned to her after Legion was defeated, and the second one was the brain was going to perform a live dissection right here and now.
Yeah.
And so as Hops just begins to fucking beat the shit out of the brain and fucking bludgeon it to death, she suddenly just gets herself up out of the water and strikes this heroic pose before saying, that wasn't a part of your options. You have stupid options.
You have stupid options. Good old Hops. Takes after me.
Yeah, so the brain was defeated, but unfortunately Romeo is on. But you guys start exploring around and get some loot.
Hey.
Yeah, you wanna explain?
We got fucking 2 mystery potions.
And of course, 2 players just chug them.
Yeah, because duh. Who wants to fucking do an insight check on that shit? Nobody does. Just chug them. Anyway, one gave Boondock Flight. So, God. And the other one made Morgan look 10 years younger. And he's a halfling, so he's already short. Mm-hmm. So he's just small. Small.
He was what, 12 at that age or something like that?
I think so. Yeah, because he's... Yeah.
Yeah. So he shrinks back down from being a buff halfling to this tiny little skinny kid with like really poofy hair and no tattoos.
Bro, I was crying inside. Everyone was crying inside. I think we also called Susan to show him. Like,
yes.
They're like, look, your son. And she's like, ah. Even though, like, fucking Juliet and Essen over here, like, simping.
God.
We all simp for Susan Weaver. Just saying.
You're both nightmares.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, so Morgan's now small as his mother begins to like coo over him. Though unfortunately Julia can't share in like the happy moment though, because I think it's probably the point to talk about the revelation.
Yeah, well, okay. Should I talk about the revelation during the call with Cass?
Yeah,
okay.
Probably just explain like the context of
okay, so basically, we managed to get a hold of Faith after we got out of the thing, and we were all, like, explaining what was going on and whatnot, and, we all decided to camp out and take watches, and Juliet took her watch alone so she could call Cass about what happened. So she calls up Cass. Cass looks like shit, as always, because he's just stressed out, and, Juliet pretty much explains everything that happened, and she realizes that Cass said his sister was possessed by a Leviathan and he had to end his sister. And she's like, oh my fucking god. The brain... Okay. Basically, Legion is Cass's sister, who is held hostage by the Leviathan. And during this, during the hop scene, where she was getting blessed and everything, Julia had a dream about, she was in another person's body. It was a man's body. She could hear his voice through her, and she was looking down in a crate, almost like a storage crate, and he was like shutting it closed, and you could hear crying from the inside of it. And there was a woman next to him saying, "What if he doesn't survive?" And he's like, "Well, we gotta start digging his grave or whatever." And she was like, "What the fuck is happening?" This brain thing that took over Juliet's mind is Cass's dad. And I was so fucking pissed. I was like, I'm ready to fight him right now. Holy shit. So basically, she tells him all this, and Cass was arguing like, no, my father is dead. My sister is not a changeling like Legion is. I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, well, your dad's not a fucking brain either, but like, here we are. So they talk about that for a bit. And then Juliet realizes, also I'm realizing this because I'm stupid and I'm like, oh wow. She saved a soul. She saved someone without a soul cage. Like, because a soul cage, you're literally trapping a soul to make it do your bidding. Versus what she did, which was like bless a soul, I guess is what we're calling it. I don't know. Purifying a soul, you know, just the opposite. That they want to help you because you helped them. She realizes she has this power now, and there's a way she could possibly save Legion and thus Cass's sister. And while they're talking and stuff, Cass is like, more or less giving her like, if you absolutely have to kill her, then do it. I don't want you to die, but if there is any possible way to save my sister.
I think Casper, what he basically told you was like, do whatever you need to, like, whatever it takes to get like the job done.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you could tell from like, you know, how he was acting, just from obviously what you know of him, like, obviously he would want nothing more than to save like his sister. And therein lies a very interesting choice that Juliet needs to make. She can use Soul Cage on Legion and try to trap it or destroy it, and that's the safest route for her and the party to actually take. Or she can try to save it, which is going to be infinitely more dangerous in the short term, but it's going to save Cass from this lifetime of suffering that she's going through.
And like, I'll explain more about this in the next recording, so we're not stuck on this for a while because I have a lot to say about this. Anyway, as we're talking, Cass talks about Uriel, the actual soul that I blessed.
So the reason that he was like out there is that you guys asked him to check on Uriel's grave, and he did in fact confirm that yes, the grave was disturbed, and unfortunately it just ties into your theory that the brain is in fact Cass's father, as the only people who like know even the location of that grave site are Canis Libertas members that are high up in the organization. And it would make sense considering Cass's father was in fact the leader. Yeah, so he tells you though a little bit about like Uriel and his relationship with her, as he just kind of says that like, well, when he was like a lot younger, like first starting to like lead the guild, Uriel was of course like one of the top heroes there, and the two of them like hung out pretty often, and eventually things blossomed into a bit of a crush. And things never really progressed beyond just like light flirting with each other, as they were always just like off on missions. You know, Cass always had to do something or other with the guild, and Uriel was off on like foreign location.
Yo, I would have blessed this marriage so fast. So fast.
That kind of stuff. And it was always just one of those things where like they just kind of figured like, you know, maybe things will eventually settle down and maybe things are quiet, we can finally see where things go. And that did end up happening because on one of those missions, Uriel didn't come back.
Cries.
Cass just was left with all these unsaid feelings. So he just kind of tells Julia at this point just to not take what she has for granted, because you never know when things are going to be taken away from you like that.
Yep.
Yup, indeed. We had a good reaction to this, if you want to explain that.
Oh, she fucking teased the shit out of him at first about this crush thing. Sorry. Basically, she realizing she has this power now in her hand, she's I feel like it's like hitting her hard, like everything that's going on, like, yeah, she died, came back, things happened, like she watched Hobbs get knocked out for the first time, like things are getting fucking serious, and now that she has a choice between like these two things and it's very conflicting, like she is like at a loss for words and like trying to like figure out what she can do and to help not only Cass but everyone in the party. At this point she's not thinking of herself at all. She's thinking of everyone else because like that's what she does. And she's just like, I don't know if I need to become kinder or stronger or what. I just need to be something more than what I am right now in order to do what everyone's asking me.
Yeah. So Juliet was struggling with that, and I did like that last moment too, where like you told Cass, I care about you, and Cass also said that he cares about you immensely too, because it was such like this nice little like poignant moment of like this like father-daughter bonding. But yeah, so Juliet, with a lot on her mind, begins to head inside to wake up the next person for her watch. And she sees that everyone else in the fucking camp is already awake. Essen and Boondock are both like chugging down drinks.
Yeah.
Pops is fucking just like spinning around or something like that. Morgan's just like he's sitting like a bed just like watching these two as like Essen looks like on the verge of tears. Oh god. And like Essen's like poring over like a map too as like Boondock and Essen are both like drinking, just like trying to explain like the local area and like things that are coming up. And Julie just goes like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, what the
guys?
fuck? Y'all got drunk without me. How dare you?
Oh man. But yeah, do you want to explain why Essen was, on the verge of tears and panically explaining the local geography?
Basically, he said something about, like, we are about to, like, head up to this, refugee camp where some of his people were from, I think, right? Brain going brr. But yes, and he was just like, everyone fucking hates me. Like, they all blame me for what happened, and he's just like, when you're trying to comfort an already sad drunk person, it's you're just sitting there as they just cry, and you're just I wish I could like show gifs in this, because I'm thinking of the person who's crying over a toilet seat, and there's another person just patting their back with the broom. I feel like it's Juliet.
Yeah, no. And you're trying to kind of like calm down a little bit and saying like, oh, like they can't hate you that much, and like Essen begins to like, I think he like shows like some of like the scars on his back, and there's like pitchfork scars there. As he just kind of explains like, yeah, no, I mean, they do truly hate me. I don't know if I can like, I want to face them. I want to see this head on, but I'm just kind of scared for what's going to properly happen. And Julia, I think you kind of like offered the idea of like possibly just going like around the camp, even if it takes a couple extra days. But Essen just kind of said like, no, he wants to like try to face things like head on, and see what's like going to happen. And Pops has a very like poignant comment as she asks if Essen going to see these refugees, is he trying to do all of this and to ask for the forgiveness for him, or is he trying to do it for them? And as that actually manages to shut Essen up, as he's also just kind of reeling, thinking, oh man. But yeah, the party then heads to sleep, and as all of that's happening, Boondock has a dream in the middle of the night.
Ooh.
So, in Boondock's dream, he once again meets with the devil. And as he meets with the devil, he appears like in that same cabaret bar. And I believe the immediate first thing Boondock does is he takes a chair and immediately bashes it over the devil's head, saying that he told the devil not to summon him ever again until he thought about making a decision. But the devil just kind of sighs, clearly have taken no damage whatsoever from that chair to the head, as the devil just explains that he has more information for Boondock for him to make that decision, though, especially after the things he's seen. And so the devil explains now that Legion's master is in fact the Leviathan, and Leviathan doesn't just want the plane of anima where you guys are wiped out of existence. He also wants all of Chthonia wiped out of existence too. So the devil, of course, he wants to make a pact with Boondock because he believes Boondock can actually properly stop the Leviathan. And the devil can make Boondock stronger, as Boondock saw with those bandits in the middle of the night. He can offer Boondock just a little bit more strength that he just might need. And Boondock just kind of like, he understands, but he says he's still going to think about it. As Boondock wakes up in the morning.
Crazy.
So, yeah, everyone wakes up, and I believe, Juliet, you decided to just like call like a group meeting to figure out like everything that's happening.
Yeah, so basically I call up a meeting to everybody, like, alright, this is the shit that's happening right now, like, everything. And, you know, she just tells everything about how the brain is Cass's father, Legion is Cass's sister, and everyone's like, what the fuck? Boondock mentions the devil wants him to sign a pact to defeat the Leviathan, and Juliet's like, fuck no, what the fuck, you don't, that's wrong, that's bad, don't do it. And he's like, I wasn't gonna do it. I'm like, okay, whatever, don't fucking do it.
Oh man. Yeah. And so, with all of that and the party all just coming up with their like different decisions, Juliet with her new decision on like whether or not she's gonna try to save Legion or to just try to take her out because it's safer for the party. Essen with his decision on what he's going to actually say or do to these refugees in order to try and talk to them. Boondock with his decision of whether or not he's going to try and take the devil deal, and Morgan, who's trying to figure out now how he's going to reach everything, now being even shorter than he was before. Oh man. But yeah, so join us again a little bit later this week as we're going to talk a little more about the whys and hows of all of the content that we've covered in this episode. Yeah, thank you guys all for listening. A special shout out to our patrons, the Mod God, Spicy Turntable, and Nightclub Dreamer. You guys help us make more and better content. And if any of you guys listening out there want to help support us, the link to our Patreon is in the description. Yeah, we're gonna have like a ton of like new rewards. We kind of like reworked it, so from like the new tiers, you can get some of our like assets and stuff like that we use for our D&D games, as well as like higher tiers can get stuff like physical rewards, like stickers or like tiny little like race sheets and stuff like that. Yeah. Also check out our Instagram, links in the description there. We are currently holding a Draw Us in Your Style for the Horror and Harpy icon. So if you guys want to check that out and possibly get some free commissions out of it, links in the description. Yeah. Izzy, you want to plug our Twitch? Yeah, so we are now Horror and Harpy on Twitch. We've been doing a couple of Final Fantasy streams, some art streams. We're doing the next thing that we are planning right now, the 27th, correct? The 27th, yes. Yeah,
of October. We're doing a Call of Cthulhu one-shot. Really fun, set in the 1920s. You get to see us fuck around. But yeah, so at Horror and Harpy, we'll have more of the information, like what time it is, on our Instagram page if you want to check that out. But yeah.
You got a fun fact to lead us out with?
Yeah, so fun fact, Cass's sister is named Jolene, because she even wanted to make a fucking inside joke that none of us found funny because she tried to kill us. We had no idea what the hell he was talking about, so we're all like, Jolene as in Dolly Parton? And he's like, yeah. Phoenix.
It'll make sense in like 6 or 7 episodes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, PhoenixChat,
Yeah.